Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. Welcome back to Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV Big Fox. I'm your host, Frank Acomb, and we are broadcasting from the Hesselson studio. And in that Zoom Hesselson studio this morning, Greg returns. Thank you so much for being on the program again.
Hey, Frank, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Boy, you couldn't have got a better day for the unveiling of the historic marker, could you?
Oh no, it was perfect for November 21st. Yes,
especially
looking outside today.
Yeah, exactly. What has the reaction been overall? Because the location's perfect, everything about it was great.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was really surprised at like the uplifting of it. Mm-hmm. It seemed like everybody was just so positive.
Yeah.
About it, and you know what it could mean to help Elmira out, which mm-hmm. is I hope it can.
And you don't normally get that big of a crowd for an unveiling of that sort, so that's what impressed me.
Yeah, actually, Christina, who's the PR person for the city, told me in her 2 years at the city, it's the largest crowd they've ever had for a press conference.
Well, it's nice when they're all calling everybody by their name, and you do the head count, and everybody was there, so you couldn't have got more coverage in our area.
Right. No, it was perfect for sure. I was really pleased.
Well, those that didn't attend or maybe missed some of it, tell us a little bit about this whole, and we talked about it on the show last time, but this whole kind of journey for you.
Yeah, I mean, when I discovered, which was completely by accident, that Elmira had hosted the first pro football night game back in 1902, I just knew I needed to dig into it further. And the further I dug into it and the more interesting the story became, it just really popped in my mind. This story really deserves a historical marker of some kind. And so when I did my research, and I had spoken to the Historical Society in Chemung County, which is where I did some of the research, mm-hmm. they referred me to the city of Elmira because it's a city park.
Oh, okay.
And so I talked to Mike Collins, who's the city manager, and the minute I talked to him, he had never heard the story.
Yeah.
And then was completely supportive, excited about the possibility. Yeah. And then basically helped me shepherd it through the city council, who had to approve it. Mm-hmm. And then the city was just unbelievably supportive throughout the process.
To your point, I think people are so surprised by it because we've never heard, you know a lot about Mark Twain, and a lot about the history of the area, but people are shocked when I tell them about it.
Well, yeah, and the significance of it. I mean, this is back in 1902, so it's 18 years before the NFL even started.
Right.
And then even when the NFL started, it took them 50 years to embrace night football.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football doesn't happen until 1970. And then all of a sudden, a few years later, it's the number one spectator sport in America.
Yeah.
And now it's by far the number one spectator sport. And to think all that started in Elmira is pretty crazy.
It is pretty crazy. Cool. And I think the story's so great. I should ask, and I have my magazine here, can people find out more about it from your research?
Yeah, they can get Western New York Heritage magazine.
Okay.
The Western New York Heritage has a website, and they can buy the magazine right online. Okay. And it's their fall edition, and the story is about 10 pages because it's illustrated beautifully with pictures, mm-hmm. And stuff. So yeah, they can definitely get it through there too. Plus, I know Jim Hare from the Star Gazette is mm-hmm. actually doing a story that will run sometime in January.
Oh,
in
great.
The local newspaper.
How much work went into this? So you find out and you discover that this happened and no one's aware of it. And then you did a great job reading kind of a little bit of the history during the unveiling. How much time did you spend on it?
Well, the project was really twofold. One, there was the article itself.
Right.
Which took a lot of research because, the Chemung County Historical Society had some. But I also wanted to know about the Philadelphia Athletics, who were their opponent.
Yeah.
Well, I had to go through Philadelphia newspapers, the Philadelphia Historical Society. Thank God there's newspapers.com, so you can get a lot of newspapers online. And then I had to do some digging for photos. And that took some work too. So, I'd say I probably put 30 to 40 hours writing the article and researching it.
Wow.
And then the second part was then pursuing the historical marker, mm-hmm.
Which
is a process, as you know, is a process in and of itself.
Yes. There's a lot of moving pieces that people aren't aware of when you want a project like that.
Right. So, of course, I had to work with the city. I had to submit, a bunch of information to Mike to
Right.
get to the city council. But they responded really quickly because I had provided information to Mike in, I don't know, middle of August. And by the middle of September, it was approved.
Yeah.
But then you have to work with the manufacturer to get the marker made, and that's a whole process.
It's kind of a fun process, but they always tell you don't plan an event until you have it.
Right.
Because you don't want to have an unveiling. But the problem with that concept is I had a gigantic historic marker in my living room waiting for it to be put up because you wanted to order it before the event.
Right. No, exactly true. And I had told them, it was Siwa Studios who I got the marker from.
Okay.
And I had told them that the critical date was November 21st because I wanted to do it on the date of the game.
Of course.
And if we miss that date, it's a whole nother year before we can do it. And so, she told me if I got her the wording, by the end of September, that they thought they could get it to me like a week before.
Oh, wow.
So we could, of course, install it. And they did. I mean, amazingly, I got it actually almost 2 weeks before.
Wow.
But then even the city. So I get it to the city because it was
Right.
like you. It was in my living room. And then I get it to the city, and a friend of mine in town went over the day before, and it wasn't up yet.
Oh, no.
That was in the morning, and it's like, oh no, what's happening?
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. It's a weirdly stressful thing, but when you unveil it, there's such a relief that comes over it because it's going to be there essentially permanently.
Yes. For sure. I mean, it's an unbelievable feeling when we unveiled it, and to think that it's going to be there, in essence forever. And like you said at the opening of the show, it's got a perfect location.
Yeah, right at Dunn Field. I knew it was going to be somewhere in that park. I didn't know where, but to be right by the front entrance for everybody that attends a game to see, you couldn't have got better.
No, that's exactly the way I felt because I didn't know where they were going to put it.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not sure they even knew.
It doesn't sound it if they did it the day before.
Right.
But people can find the whole article, and I'd highly recommend reading it because it is fascinating. And to think that at that time when there wasn't night football, essentially, right? There wasn't so many people traveling so far to see that game.
Right. Well, I mean, they actually had excursion trains from Montour Falls, Corning, just kind of crazy.
Yeah.
For a game like that.
Yeah.
In those days.
And I think everybody kind of had a nice chuckle about when you hear about who the teams were made up of, and you hear just some of the things that are lost to time, but that have changed so much, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, to think, pretty much the Canaweola team, which was the Elmira team, was pretty much made up of local high school players,
right?
And a few college players. And here they're playing the Philadelphia Athletics, which of course is a Major League Baseball franchise.
Yeah.
That had just won the American League pennant, playing football in the offseason, managed by Connie Mack, who is one of the most famous managers in baseball history, of course, right?
Could you imagine going to ownership now and saying, hey, in the off season they're going to play football?
Right, exactly, right. Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And then some of the stories of individual players after, the game and after their careers. Here Rube Waddell, who was a baseball player that played, he becomes a Hall of Fame pitcher in baseball. And then you got Blondie Wallace of the Athletics, who becomes a famous bootlegger in Atlantic City. But then Howard Reiter and one of his teammates. They're credited with the first forward pass in football history in 1906.
Yeah. So keep that in mind. When people went to travel to this game, there was no forward pass.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It was all a running game. It was an 110-yard field. It was 3 downs to get 5 yards. I mean, it was a complete brute force game. If you watch the Bills game on Sunday, it was kind of like the Bills game.
But I do recommend that everybody read this article. Western New York Heritage. Go online. You can find it there. So last time we talked, how's the new book going?
It's going really well.
Right?
I've done about a half dozen book signings across Western New York.
Oh, great.
And it's gone really well. the 50 games, from the stadium, everybody's got a story
Yeah.
they can reflect on, which is awesome, which is what we hoped would be the case.
And that's One Bills Drive, the Buffalo Bills' greatest home games, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
From 1973 to 2025. Where can people buy the book?
Pretty much all the Barnes and Nobles. I know the Barnes and Noble in Elmira has it
Oh,
because I
perfect.
was actually in the store.
And you
a couple
checked.
weeks ago. You checked it out. So they definitely have it. Of course, you can get it on Amazon and on BarnesandNoble.com too.
Sure. So you've got this passion for the Bills that we talked about in the past. You've got this out of nowhere, really, the passion for the first professional night football game. So what do you got next? What's next?
Well, my big project, which will come out in the summer of 2026, is a biography of Ralph Wilson.
That's right. That's right.
The Bills' original owner.
Yeah.
And that's being published by RIT Press.
Okay.
So that's my next big kind of big thing.
But that's going to be a major undertaking because it's surprising to me. I know we talked about it last time, but to think that he doesn't have a book out already blows my mind.
Right. No, that was surprising because at the time when I approached his widow, Mary, back in 2021, he was the only owner in the Pro Football Hall of Fame that didn't have a book written about him.
Huh.
And so I approached her and said, hey, is anybody writing a book? And if not, I'll be happy to do it. And she was very supportive of me,
Yeah.
of me writing
I would
it.
hope so. How much time do you spend on that? I mean, you've got this project. You still want to watch the Bills every week, so you do have to have some free time. So how much time have you been working on it?
Well, it's basically taken 4 years of research.
Wow.
Probably 2 to 3 days a week for almost that period.
Yeah.
The good news now is the book is completely drafted. The manuscript is with the publisher. Now
Okay.
I just wait for them to edit it, and then I have to review all their suggested edits.
And you said, what's the goal for when that have to come out?
Hopefully end of July of 2026.
Okay. Wow. You're busy.
Yeah.
You're making us all feel lazy over here. So, I've got to ask, it's been a couple weeks. What do you think? What do you think of the season?
Well, the Bills are not going to catch the Patriots to win the division. Not after last night. It's like the Patriots would have to fall apart completely.
Yeah.
I think the Bills certainly looked better on Sunday, but that's not repeatable. Like, they're not going to beat the best teams running the ball 50 times.
Right. Yeah.
They've got to find the solution to their passing game, which I really think is Joe Brady being more creative in the passing game.
Okay.
But if they don't turn the ball over,
Yeah.
the good news this year is there's no team that's like really a standout team.
No. That's why it's kind of frustrating that the Bills aren't.
Right. Because this was their year to be that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So can they get in a wild card and go on a run? For sure.
Yeah.
If they play at their best, they certainly can.
Well, when they look at their best, they look great. But boy, it's going to be frustrating to watch. I can only imagine for you.
They're so up and down.
Yeah.
And I'm not used to that, right? We've been spoiled.
Yeah. And that's why, like you said, that's why I think it's interesting, because right now would be the time to be that standout team, and that's what makes it so darn frustrating. A day late and a buck short.
Right, because if we were last year's team, we'd be the best team in the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway. Yeah, and still plenty of season. Still plenty of season.
I'm not giving up hope
No, I
on
know.
anyone.
No, I know. Boy, it goes quick, doesn't it?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I can't believe it. Yeah.
Well, Greg, thanks for giving us so much time this morning, and keep us updated on all the books and any other projects you got. Let us know about the next historic marker.
All right, I would definitely do that.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks. We'll be right back. Stay with us.